I think in a normal country, we would say, hold on a second, maybe we need to have a different set of regulations for social media platforms now that they're this big.
It would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
And here's how we got beat. We got beat because the Republicans and the conservatives built a different media system that had to do with online, had to do with podcasts, had to do with streaming platforms, and they were spending their money there. We were laughing at them and knocking on doors in Philadelphia and Detroit. It's like, there's no Trump people. They're not dropping literature. They're not knocking on doors.
It was laughing like, oh, Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk, their PACs don't know what they're doing.
We were making fun of Donald Trump for having thrown away his ground game and doing some weird stuff online. We thought that they were idiots. It turned out we were the idiots. We woke up in a body bag because while we were knocking on doors, they were making these phones into 24-hour-a-day political weapons for themselves. And so we got outflanked, outplayed, outbeat by people who told us the whole time that they knew what they were doing.
Particularly the media ecosystem it's not a good one, it's a negative one, it's a radicalization funnel. But what they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine, literally the way militant groups do around the world, that takes people from relatively low-level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way, slowly, to a full-blown...
She doesn't even buy what he's selling. Little rocket boy here is trying to tell her some stuff. Look at the look on her face. She's like, this guy's a complete flippin' idiot. Is this what we have to look forward to for the next 4 years? People blaming YouTube and podcasters because you weren't smart enough to understand what was going on?
Fascist politics. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way.
Did you hear what he just said? We don't have somebody like Joe Rogan or Jordan Peterson to move them into a feminist direction. What in the hell are these people talking about? So you're telling me, now you've basically taken the veil off, and you're telling me that your objective with all of your gaslighting from the media was to make men become more like women. Not my words. He just said it. We don't have somebody like Joe Rogan to move these people to being more feminist. Not only have they lost the plot, they're not even watching the play up on stage. We are 3 days removed from a landslide election, and these people just don't get it. If they pulled up the map and they saw what happened on Tuesday, and you see the sea of red covering the map, a sea of red, except for some blue stuff over on the West Coast and some blue stuff up in the Northeast. And for some reason, they're not grasping, maybe because they haven't ventured out from their studios, that they are exactly what Van Jones said they are. You're idiots. You are absolute idiots. And then this guy comes out and says, oh, we don't have anyone who can help make these guys more fifi, make them more feminist. I don't know who his friends are. I don't know who his family is. I don't know a single guy who's ever said to me, Bear, I would feel much better about this country if more of us, instead of liking football and, going out for a beer or so, that we would all become more feminine. Said no real man ever. Is their overall overreaching objective to create a nation of transformers? I can't believe that was said on a national news show. And even further, I cannot believe nobody pushed back. Hey, whoa, what do you mean men should be more feminist? Did that strike you? Any of you guys in here? That their post-mortem, as they're still going through it, still trying to figure out how to get their ass spanked, are saying that, we didn't have Joe Rogan and, these guys are too masculine. By the way, Joe Rogan invited Kamala Harris to do his show. She chose not to. Instead, she wanted to dole out tens of millions to Beyonce and Cardi B and Taylor Swift and whoever, aging Bruce Springsteen and aging John Bon Jovi, and you thought that was going to change things. I'm sorry, John Bon Jovi playing a guitar ain't paying anyone's gas prices, ain't buying anybody any groceries. Sing your damn song. Oh yeah, cool, I remember that song from the 80s. The 80s. Wanted, dead or alive. Yeah, I like the song. I love the song. I thought it was a cool song. Do I care how you're voting? No. I cared how you walk these streets with a 6-string on my back. Yeah, I like that. But I don't give a crap about your voting. Now, you're going to make me throw away. Well, there's nothing to throw away. It's just hitting the delete button on my MP3s. I'm sorry. Sorry, John. Well, then again, I don't have to do that. I got it for free. I downloaded it from Napster. It was free. I didn't pay you. So I can still play it without having to pay any royalties. Sorry, John. Bruce, when I was growing up, going to prep school, you were everything. You and the big man. Jungle Land. I thought it was one of the best songs ever. Yeah, I got that one free too on Napster. Nah, I'm not paying you a dime. Not gonna happen. These people have lost the narrative completely. Not only have they lost the narrative, they don't have any way to come back. You see, what they don't have is Elon Musk. Yeah, they had Mark Cuban, and they told him he had to hit the showers. You're done. Go away. You booted the only real tech guy who is still way below Elon, and you told him to go take a hike. And so you're going to have to figure out before 26, the next election, what do you do? You see, the problem is nobody cares what you guys have to say. I mean, there's some strong left-leaning blogs. I mean, the Young Turks are out there. They've got a good, strong channel. Midas Touch has a strong channel. I can't think of any more. I don't know anymore. You guys put all your chips into mainstream media. You thought you had it covered because you had the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CBS, blah, 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 blah. You thought you had it covered. But now we're in a digital age and you've got no bench. No bench. I don't know what you can do at this point. It's going to be kind of hard going up against a guy who has a company that is today worth $1 trillion and has some personality. I mean, Tim Cook from Apple, yeah, Apple's worth $1 trillion, I think. But this guy's worth $1 trillion, and he's got personality. And besides that, he's personally, not the company, he's personally worth $300 billion. $300 billion. Let that sink in. He paid $44 billion for X, or Twitter rather, and then turned it into X. So he paid a little over 15% of his net worth for Twitter. 15%. So I want you to go and start thinking, what you have in the bank, what your net worth is. Let's say you've got $100,000 in the bank. That's the equivalent of you writing a check for $15,000. He wrote a check for $44 billion, which is only 15% of his net worth. I think he's doing okay. Everyone laughed at him when he bought Twitter. You'll never make any money. I don't care. I can write it off then if it doesn't make any money. But I think I'm going to do something good with it. And now here it is, 3 days after an election, where Elon Musk was a very strong contributing factor to Trump getting elected, along with the bros and podcasters, hopefully myself is included there. I saw a ranking where I came in like number 40 on election night. I was like, yeah, I'm up there. But then again, that means I'm a target as well. $300 billion. You don't have anybody on your bench that can do that. You don't have anybody who can actually do anything like most of us do. You don't even have a Megyn Kelly. You don't have anybody. There's nobody that is in your orbit that can draw an audience that people actually want to tune into. Look around. And now you're sitting here going, oh man, so Kamala spent $1 billion. Oh, by the way, Kamala, thank you. Let me just thank you for all the dollars that you spent, because as many people would note often, hey man, there's a Kamala ad on your stream, Barry. And I would see people complain about the Kamala ad, and I would like, yeah, it's pretty cool, ain't it? She's paying me. That's how out of touch her people were. Spending billion of dollars to try and get people to vote for her, and you're advertising on a channel that is basically comprised of Trump supporters. That's like marketing 101. You didn't even know how to place ads. The people you hired didn't even know. Elon could have told you, but you didn't have Elon. You had Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban didn't help you. So now you're in a position where you have no way out. You're trying to figure out, what to do, and your objective at this point is to take this man out. You see, if you take Elon Musk out, you can probably hope to do something, is what you're thinking. But now Trump won. And now he's your worst flipping nightmare. Because all of the technology, all the know-how, everything he knows about Twitter before it became X, everything he knows about engaging an audience, you think it was bad now? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. And I'm telling everybody, that's why I've pushed so many people to X. Like, dude, you need to get over here. You need to see what's going on X. You need to see what's going on in our community. If you haven't joined it yet, let me just go ahead and put a quick plug for that. You can join our community of, nearly 9,000 patriots. We did that. What's amazing, we did that without spending a single penny. 9,000 of you decided to join our private free group, and we didn't even have to spend a single penny. She spent $1 billion and she couldn't get people to the polls. And so now, as I'm going to show you as we go through here, they're trying to figure out in their postmortem here, what do we do? How do we make this work?
We should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
You think you have to educate men that it's okay to live with a strong woman who makes money? There's one right out there. There's one in the other room. I don't know what you mean. Been married 33 years. 33 years. I don't know how I'm still alive. I thought she'd kill me. 33 years. Talk about strong? Yeah, she's sitting right out there with her new puppy. And now you want to educate men that you think men don't know what a strong woman is? Whew. You see how they talk down to people?
But I think Brucewitz, who's J.D. Vance's aide, the key thing to me, that as we were discussing the clown car, he's credited with the online sort of bro interviews that Trump did, but he's also credited with two other things. One, the Springfield eating cats and dogs lie, and two, that comedian at the Madison Square Garden rally. I think Trump now probably feels like, oh, it's all, fine and dandy. He won. But
He doesn't have to feel that way. It is. It certainly is. It's fine and dandy. It's over. He won. You guys are talking about something that happened 2 weeks ago, and it's still being discussed because it bothered you so much because people said about cats and dogs and a joke about Puerto Rico, and that's freaking you out. That's why you're losing. That's why you will continue to lose. You see, you watch the game film the day after the game, and then you get the game plan on what you're going to do moving forward. Today's Friday. The election was Tuesday. CNN and MSNBC are still discussing what the hell happened. They don't seem to really grasp how bad they failed and how bad Trump whooped their butts. And you're still talking about, hey, did you miss that block? You threw an interception. The game was last week. You got another game on Sunday. Another game's tomorrow. And then you got Monday Night Football. What the hell are you people doing? You're still trying to get your listeners to think that you guys had some sort of angle. And meanwhile, Elon and Trump, they're out there planning everything they're doing and getting people like Zelensky and Vlad and the EU to move things and buy stuff and understand you're going to get tariffs. So maybe, and you from Mexico, you might have to go ahead and self-deport because we ain't giving you no money. And you're still talking about Tuesday. No, actually, you're talking about the rally 2 weeks ago.
I mean, is it really wise for people like that to end up being even closer in the inner circle?
Before Elon tells her, well, let Elon answer.
Yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
Is it really wise for people like the guy who recommended the comedian and some of the guys who, he talked about the cats and dogs and it was instrumental in getting some of the interviews put together. Is it really wise to put these people in the inner circle? Psst. He won. Oh, think about what she just said. Think about this woman just said, is he wise to put them in his inner circle? He just wasted Kamala, right? I mean, now it wasn't even close. And you're questioning, should he do that? I'm not really sure he should do that. Okay.
Obviously, there's a lot of questions that's going to be asked and looked into and really legitimate reasons to look within, for sure.
Right.
At the same time, the landscape is a sea of voices and websites and places to go for information that is simply not true and then is backed up again.
See? Right back into it. We tell the truth. We're the ones you should listen to. We're the gatekeepers of truth. All those people out there are liars. She says as she's lying. And they're wondering why they're getting beat.
And again and again and again until it becomes narrative.
You fight on the battlefield that is before you. Mm-hmm. And so if there is disinformation on the battlefield that is before you, you can run off of that battlefield screeching and crying with your arms thrown up in the air, or you can figure out how to engage in that battlefield and win. It's that simple. And I understand there is a ton of disinformation out there, and it is sickening. I understand that. I also understand the disinformation will only be worse 4 years from now. So the question is, what will Democrats or what will independents or what will Republicans who don't support an authoritarian version of government, what are they going to do right now instead of complaining?
My point is...
Wait. He just said that there's disinformation all over the place and that what are people going to do and how are they going to react and respond to an authoritarian? So you're telling people to watch out for all of this disinformation out there while you and your cohorts have been saying Project 2025 and he's going to do a national baby removal ban. And then in the same sentence, you just said the man's an authoritarian. I don't even think that they understand the manic idiocy that they have been infected with. It is so widespread, and this battlefield that he's talking about, we're fighting it every day. We're going back on the battlefield. We're going on the offense right now. We're going to do everything we can to stick it to you in the next 4 years. You still got to figure out how to catch up to where we are today. It took me 1,000 videos to get 328,000 subscribers. It took Benny Johnson how many years to get 1 million subscribers? You start today, and we'll see you in about 5 years. So the battlefield's wide open. Ask anyone who's tried to start a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast. Ask anyone. You don't flip the switch and like, hey, everybody come on over. I got 1 million people. Oh, no. 5 people listen today, huh? Yeah, 5. All right, we can do it tomorrow. Oh, we had like 8 the second day. Oh, this is going to be hard. Oh, yeah, it's real flipping hard. It's a lot different when you're doing it yourself than walking into an NBC studio and you've got the lighting technician and the audio technician and the cameraman and the teleprompter and everything. You know, 15 producers bringing your coffee, wiping your butt, and you just sit there and get to say stupid stuff. And then you hope people watch. Now, Joe, go ahead and go into a studio in your house, in your basement, in your attic, wherever you are. Flip a switch and see how many people talk to you. Watch and see how many people tune in and subscribe because you're Joe frickin' Scarborough. You see, that's the problem they're going to have, is that they so discounted and they had such disdain about new media, that there's no way they can catch up right now. I mean, the only way they can probably catch up is get some pretty blonde who has no idea what she's saying, who is scantily dressed, who just gets up there and jokes, and she'll get 1 million subscribers. But they ain't looking at her for what she's saying. They're looking at her because of what she looks like. I mean, people will turn off the volume just to watch her jiggle. But if you want content, if you want to see, you know, what people are going to gravitate to, it's a lot of flipping work. And I don't think these people have any clue. Besides the fact, going from $1 million a year, 10 million, 5 million, whatever they're making, to saying all of a sudden you're not getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. The only paycheck you're getting is what you can create. So I want you to tell people that you think are going to catch up in the next couple of years what I just said. Hey, listen, we need you to set up a studio in your bedroom or garage or whatever, and we need you to start being like a broadcaster and start bringing in some of these, you know, these, I don't know, guys that want to be like women, and get the, you know, call Harry Sisson, have him put up a studio or whatever, and see if he can get, you know, people to show up on an ongoing basis. See what happens. That's about it. I mean, I saw an article today, and actually there were a couple. First, I want to do this post. This was from Mike Cernovich. He says, the regime media was revealed as powerless compared to X. It's time to disband the White House Correspondents Association and their privileged access to the White House. There's no reason, none, to let them run around all day lying and using the White House as a backdrop of some form of legitimacy. I 100% agree. One of Trump's big moves going into the White House would be to say, hey, Elon, we're going to do X broadcasts. And with these X broadcasts, we're going to just basically tell people what our policy is. It's over for the mainstream media. They just don't, they're like a chicken with their head cut off. They just don't know they're dead yet. And I saw this article. It's kind of hard to read because he didn't put spacing, but I want you to check this out. This guy is Buck Johnson. Buck writes a lot of good stuff. He says, last night, talking about the election, showed us a ton of new information. For some of us, some of the information was confirming what we had been speculating on for quite some time. Legacy media cannot possibly compete with alternative media, which is what we're doing. It's only alternative in its messaging since guys like Rogan and Tucker have a far bigger reach than NBC News. But they didn't used to. You know, Tucker was a host on Fox. And they decided they're going to fire him. We're going to cut him off at the knees. He's done. We'll shut him up. Oh, how'd that work out? Because he had personality. He's able to produce. He's got, an ability to deliver a message. And he's prospering. And don't even bother to think about Rogan. Rogan's doing UFC, and he did Fear Factor. And again, he has a presence. The legacy media still relies on antiquated messaging platform of quick sound bites and narrative manipulation that just can't hold up to long-form podcasting. Long-form podcasting is, I think I've said the difference to you, is anybody can go ahead and create a 12 or 10-minute video. It's a lot different with long-form podcasting when you're speaking and talking to people for an hour, 2 hours, 8 hours, like election night. You've got to be able to bring people information that they want to hear and they find interesting. It's not just the same old stuff on a newscast that you run over and over. Continuing, he says they can no longer gatekeep the messaging. That's the biggest thing. They don't control it. By the time they have vetted it and their producers have looked at it and lawyers and everything else, it's already been done on X. It's already out there. Legs. It's already running. It's too late. You can't keep up. Trump was wise enough to know he could and should sit for hours with guys like Tucker and Joe Rogan. And he did it with some other people. Elon and J.D. Vance knew this as well. Kamala, in her pride and hubris, thought she was better than that and refused it. Progressivism's very ethos is founded upon that pride and hubris. As long as you have platforms owning and gatekeeping your false narrative, that can work. She didn't want to lower herself to go and talk to anybody because she had 60 Minutes. They have a big audience, but they figured she could, we'll alter what she said and nobody will notice, except for they noticed it within literally about an hour on X, and we had all the cuts. Whatever 60 Minutes or whoever in 60 Minutes had that footage, we all knew within about an hour that they had edited everything. You can't compete with new media unless you're in new media. These broadcast people still haven't figured that out. Elon tried to tell him. Elon invited Kamala on as well and said, hey, would you like to come on and do one of these spaces? The one we did with Trump did 1 billion views. 1 billion. You know what 1 billion means because you spent that kind of dollars. But 1 billion views. You want to come on? No. I'm going to run ads, okay? And when I run these ads, we're going to put it all over different places. And then I'm going to go on MSNBC or CNN. Yeah, how'd that work out? This is why they hated that Elon bought Twitter. They knew their control of the narrative was slipping. This is why Fox News ousted Tucker and was too prideful to understand that they needed him more than he needed them. It's sort of like being, John Bon Jovi. And if the other 5 guys or 4 guys in the band got pissed off and said, no, John, we don't like what you're saying. And then John goes, screw you. I'm going to go do my own album. The other 4 guys are like, hey, man, did our meal ticket just walk out the door? Yeah. Ask Genesis about that. Ask Genesis what happened when both Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins both said, we out. Genesis, I loved them as a band. And I loved when Peter Gabriel was with them. I loved when Phil Collins was with them. Mike and the Mechanics, not so much. Not so much at all. Making music references here. Last night, election night, was a referendum on media. Where am I still? Can you still see? Yeah. Real talk and long-form discussions are moving from the alternative to the preferred. Legacy media is done. You see, with what we do, what I do, and of course guys like Rogan, you don't have to be watching MSNBC to hear what they have to say. You don't have to DVR anything. It's right there on demand. If you're listening live, you can do that. If you want to listen to it later, it's going to be here. And we build, and hopefully you enjoy it, we've built quite the little community here where some of the people who tune in, they all know each other and they talk and they have communication, and I'll take some comments and I'll talk to them. And Ashley and SV and Roaring Rage and some of the other moderators, Severo, I don't want to forget anybody, Tommy Lawrence, everybody, Beth, they all talk to each other. When you watch MSNBC or even Fox, anybody talking back at you? Anybody relating to what you have to say? Anybody saying, hey, how you doing tonight? Hey, are you cooking dinner? You got time to watch? And how's it going? Hey, yesterday you weren't feeling well. Are you doing okay? Nope. Legacy media can't do that. They haven't figured that out yet for some reason, and they won't. It's too late. The crafting of a slick soundbite messaging system and narrative control by corporations is done. If the left wants to sit and stew under massive loss and blame racism, ignorance, and misogyny, they can do that at their own peril. And that's what I'm showing you. That's specifically what they're doing. Hey, how did we lose? Well, people are racist. They don't listen. They're stupid. They're uneducated. They're in the flyover states. Blah, blah. What did you do wrong? Oh, we're fine here. We're MSNBC. Notice that it was Generation X that pushed Trump to victory. That is a huge thing you should notice. It's no coincidence that Gen X is the largest listenership of alternative media. This is a huge white pill if you care about what makes people tick, where they see things headed, and why things are happening in real life. It's also a white pill because the legacy media narrative crafters have lost their grip on control, and the toothpaste is out of the tube. They're cooked. Exactly. There's no way they can come back from this. This isn't something that some corporate guy can pour money into. Doesn't matter. Don Lemon found that out. If you're not putting in the work and delivering stuff every single day, if you're in news, I mean, if you're in sports, I mean, some people I know from the Dolphins, when what we did, you cover the games, and then off season, you're not pushing out as much content. But if you plan on being involved in the quote news business, you got to deliver stuff every single day on your own. There's no staff. There's nobody else here right now. Yeah, I've got some people who help with moderation, thank God. But other than that, if I'm going to write something, if I'm going to film something, if I'm going to edit something, if I'm going to pull and compile assets to make sure that everything is flowing, there's nobody here. And so Elon has made it such that we now have an alternative to here in YouTube. You now have an alternative to Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. And I showed you the video earlier in terms of what Trump is going to try and do and how he's going to try and, as he said, rip up and destroy censorship. At that point, we are the media. You see, we're the media now, and we're able to get a message out, and if we have to, we can go on X. But if there was no censorship, if there wasn't any suppression, tamping you down. See, there was a time when I was getting on a regular video 600,000-700,000 views. There were some that hit 1 million, but then all of a sudden it's like, hey, this dude Barry, he's talking too much. We're gonna have to tamp him down. We can't let that many people hear what he has to say. 1 million people. Oh, no, we can't do that. Imagine what happens, because at that point when I was getting 600, 700, 800, 900 real views, I know there's some guys out there buying views and doing some crazy stuff. You guys have watched his videos. I ain't gonna mention his name, but if you're getting that kind of real views and that kind of a real audience that's not made up of bots or people from Indonesia, you're competing with these people on MSNBC. They don't like that. They don't want you around. They at that point, you have become their strong competition. And that's why I kept pushing through. I saw what YouTube did. I understand. I knew what was going to happen. And so I said, listen, move into more of a live show and start building a community. Make sure you take that community with you. Do some giveaways so you have emails in case anything happens. Push them over to X so they can still see your content. keep going. Build a community. Start doing things just in case. Ashley and I sat down and talked about it many times. What happens if Trump loses? Well, if Trump loses, there might be a time where I come out and do this, and I hit the button, and nothing happens because I've been vaporized. Now, y'all need to be afraid, you MSNBCers and CNNers and everything. Now you got something to worry about, because the man won. He's got Elon with him. He's thrown the gauntlet down on censorship and suppression, and I just think now it's a matter of time before not just me, but many other people start competing with MSNBC, CNN on an ongoing basis. And what that means is advertisers. You see, right now, Elon's having a little bit of an issue because they tried to basically suppress the entire network. But you can only do that for so long. And now that Trump's getting ready to tear down the pillars of censorship and tear down their disinformation crap, oh, Katie barred the door. People will gravitate to what they want to watch. I can't even imagine. I bet you I would have close to 1 million on every single video if they weren't pushing it down. I got 328,000 subscribers. I get maybe 20% of them on a decent video, maybe 30, 40% on a exceptional video. Why? What happened to the other 300,000, 200,000? Why are they not seeing my content? How many times I've seen people in the comments, hey Barry, I'm not getting notifications. I know. Hey Barry, I've had to subscribe like 4 times. I know. The games are enough. We are the media right now. We right now are going to be the force to take it into 2026 and 2028, God willing, if I'm still here. They don't get that. And so what this man said in his article right here is the same thing I've been thinking is do away with these press conferences. Why feed opposition? If you know these networks are going to say the most crappy things about you, why would you invite them to a press conference? We don't need them. Let's change the entirety of the game. Hey, Elon, you're too busy to be the press secretary, but bring somebody in like Alex Jones and make fun of these people. They're not needed. They're no longer needed. Take them out of their seats, move them, put up screens, and let people on Zoom, check in and take questions arbitrarily. And we're going to take questions randomly. Okay, boom. Oh, this is from Barry in Boca. Hey, how you doing, Mr. President, or whoever the press secretary is? I'd like to know blah, 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 blah. And people in the New York Times are like, wait a second, we're the New York Times. Why is this Barry guy getting a question? Because it's a new game. It's over. Legacy media, you're walking dead right now. Check out what Steve Bannon had to say about that.
People, and this is where the billionaires and the donors are they're like little children. They come to you immediately and go like, who's going to be the leader? We got to have somebody like right now. We got somebody in 2028. Just take a deep breath, dude. We got a lot of work to go through. And if we don't get these next 2 years right, forget 28. You got to chop wood now. And here's what we got to do. And look, some of these, young congressmen, the MTGs and these people and Gates, boom, they're the drivers of the action. But you got to get on top of it. But Brucewicz's pulling together that strategy. And my point is, you know what I'm telling them? Because in 2017, my plan was to shut down that press thing where they do the briefings, put them across the street in the EOB, in the big auditorium where Jack Kennedy gave those great press conferences. That was all. Jack Kennedy did it from the State Department. He did it inside the compound in the executive office building. Put the media over there. Get them out of the West Wing. They don't deserve to be. Put them out of the West Wing. In first 3 rows. So NBC, CBS, ABC, suck on this because this, I hope, is the plan that gets implemented. The first 3 rows are all the podcasts and the bros and all that. The first 3 rows of that, new media, alternative media, the streaming services. You guys are like in the cheap seats. You're in the 5th and 6th row because you know what? You deserve to be in the cheap seats. All you do is attack him and rip him apart. You think we're now going to honor you? No.
Well, why would you bring opposition to your house? The White House is where the president stays. That's his house. The people's house, as they call it, but that's where he lives. Why would I bring in opposition who are going to do nothing but attack me, who have proven that they will do nothing but attack me? For the last 9 years, they've done nothing but attack me. Why the hell would I even talk to you? Steve is so correct here. Trump needs to tell these people you're no longer invited.
The Helen Thomases of the world, the tremendous reporter, I think she was UPI or AP, who always got the first question, boom, that should be new media. Mm-hmm. Pay the legacy media is the enemy of the people. We just proved that. The people spoke after President Trump for 4 years, or even his first term, has been vilified by these demons for years. You think we're going to reward you? Take the frickin' press room and turn it back into a pool. It used to be a pool during Kennedy's administration. When you're in the West Wing, you got the Oval Office. You step out of the Oval Office, they're all over you. They're right there. The comm shop's there, and all the media is walking back foot. You just walk down a short stair, and hey, you're in that little press room, but then they got these things. Get it out. Turn it back into make it an exercise room. Do whatever. Put plants in there. Let them grow. I don't care, but get these hyenas and these jackals, because that's what they are. And if they were smart, look, if you had some Vanderhays and guys like that over there that have a different philosophy and a different point of view, but are smart people and are able to engage and actually act like reporters trying to get facts and information, I probably got no problem, Brett. But you know this. They're jackals and hyenas. The hyenas go across the street. My plan was to put them out past Lafayette Square.
It's so true. When you think about what Trump did to get elected, the man did 10 rallies in 3 days. He spoke to in-person audiences, probably 60 or 70,000 people in person. And then those are people like me and Right Side Broadcasting and everybody else, Benny, and we put it out there to millions and millions and millions of people. Didn't need a single person from the media to do it. Didn't even there were no hey, listen, I'd like you to help promote my rally in XYZ city. No, put it on a website. That was it. Let me just let you guys know, that was the extent of his promotion. There were no commercials. There were no ads. He would put it on his page where it said events. And when he would put it on events, the guys at Right Side would pick it up. Some people on Twitter would pick it up. I'd pick it up. And then that's how we knew there was going to be something happening on a specific day. That was it. That was it. That's how we found out his events were going to happen. And then what did he do in every single event? Every single event, he would say, that's a lot of fake news. He would point to him. A lot of fake news. I got some breaking news came in here. This man ain't playing. This man ain't playing. I got to put a breaking news button on my board here. Breaking news. Trump is withdrawing from the Paris climate agreement. Mo money. Gone. Done. He's tearing it down. He's letting these people know in advance. He's only been elected 3 days and he's just tearing it down. We're out. We're not going to keep playing this stupid game, your green new scam that you've put together. Trump is out. America is no longer playing ball with the nuts. Trump will withdraw from the U.S. Paris Climate Agreement. Wow. Thank you, SB, for putting that text to me. Wow. Wow. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So back to what we're saying. This is specifically what I'm talking about in terms of him being able to get his message out when he wants to, and he doesn't need all that fake news, because all they did is come put up cameras, and then when he said stuff they didn't want to hear, they censored him. And then when you see him talk to the press, and he's like, okay, you got a question? What are the questions they ask him? So if you lose, are you going to accept your loss gracefully? Somebody should ask them, hey, listen, if you win, are you going to stay in the Paris climate change agreement? Nope, taken out of it. Oh, okay. Hey, Mr. President, if you win, are you going to basically destroy censorship? Yep. But no, you want to know, so what did you think when the comedian said something about Puerto Rico? They don't deserve to be in the press. Elon's killing them. They don't. No, you can't come.
And give them, hey, there's an office down there. Every day you got to show that pass. And maybe some days you go, I don't know, is the pass working? We don't want to screw them. They're not coming in. Right? The MSNBC correspondent, let them stand outside and freeze. The only thing they understand is smash mouth. Oh, you're against the First Amendment. You're propaganda. They're propaganda departments. Look what they've done to Trump. Can we go back over the last 4 years and do a mashup of like 3 hours of their hatred of this individual? The American people rendered their verdict on Tuesday. And their verdict, after being inundated with all this, and you had a couple of the real America's voices of the world and a couple small groups out like that got the information out, they said, hey, guess what? We like that guy. He's got...
He's exactly right. And the thing that the media, traditional media, is not accepting, and when you see stuff like this, the Paris Climate Agreement, he's out. The man has a mandate. So just some of you guys who don't know what a mandate is or what they're referring to when they say mandate, a mandate means we liked everything you had to say. And we want you to do everything you had to say. So when you see these Republicans, slimy saying, "Oh, we'd like to have John Thune, and Trump should stay out of the conversation about who should be, the next Senate leader and all this stuff, and Trump should reach across the aisle, and Trump should, work with a bipartisan." No, I told the people what I was going to do. I didn't mince words. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drill, baby, drill. I'm going to get rid of as many of these people who aren't supposed to be here as I possibly can. I'm going to do all that. And if you aren't on board with that, I am not looking to convince you. I no longer have to convince you. I have a mandate. I got 300 plus electoral votes that say, do it. Do what you got to do. So there's no negotiating with Trump at this point. You need to decide you're going to step in or get out the way. That's it. That is negotiation. You're going to get on board or you're going to get run over. There's nothing else to negotiate. Why? Because the American people said this man needs to be doing what he said because we support him, and we voted in mass numbers for him to do what he wants to do. We agree. We second what this man said. So there is no need for negotiation or reaching across the aisle. F you. You tried to kill the man. You tried to steal everything from him. You tried to do everything you possibly could do. And now you want to reach across the aisle? Up until Monday, you were still wondering if he was going to go to jail on November 26th. There was no cases being dismissed or revoked or anything. You were still planning on throwing his butt in jail. You had people going to Rikers Island saying, okay, so if we got to put Trump in here, where do we put him and how do we make sure he's secure? I ain't reaching across the aisle to diddly. Y'all can go screw yourself. And exactly what Steven says, put him out to pasture. Nope, we don't even have a White House correspondence anymore. Nope, sorry. Done. The man has a mandate. Do it. Do what you need to do.
Zillions. The man's after him. It's got to be for a reason. I'm not sure I understand all these policies, but I vote for him.
Joe, because you've always been sort of the leading edge of where media is going with Politico, now with Axios. You understand?
All right, so now they're bringing on this guy on MSNBC. And he's going to tell MSNBC, you got a problem. There's this guy named Elon Musk, and this guy Elon Musk is probably your biggest nightmare, and you should have seen it coming. You got blitzkrieged, to use the Hitlerian term, because that's what you kept saying. Well, you got blitzkrieged. You thought it was a joke that this man paid $44 billion for Twitter, and now you can't do anything about it, and you're trying to shut people up, but oops, too late, you lost. Listen to what this guy has to say. It's amazing.
And the environment so well. How do Democrats, and frankly, how does legacy media need to change the way it thinks about getting information? I mean, a lot of the voters who went out and voted for Donald Trump, that so many people are wondering what happened here, they're not watching, frankly, this show. They're not reading the New York Times.
How bad did that hurt him? They're not watching this show. They're not, bro. Sorry. They're not watching your show.
They're not consuming media that way. And the Trump campaign found those voters where they live. So how do Democrats need to change the way they communicate to voters, if you think that's part of the problem?
For sure. I mean, I think all of us have to come to grips with legacy media is just not as important as it thinks it is.
Somebody told you that to your face. If somebody looked you in the eye and said, you're just not as important as you think you are, at that point, you'd probably just rip off the mic, walk off stage, and go, what the hell am I doing with my life? You're just not that important anymore. And that's a Democrat talking to a Democrat. He's bringing them some tough love. Yeah, I got to break it to you. Nobody gives a crap what you're saying, bro.
It is to you, it is to me. That's a relatively small group of people who rely on us for their information. And you have to go into the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And
such simple concepts, but they don't understand it.
Basically, the way people get information is shattered into 20, 30 different pieces. And so if you just look empirically at the numbers, Joe Rogan's more important than any of us. He just...
Hold up. It's November 8th. They just now realize that? Think to yourself, these are highly paid broadcast people on a major television network. They've had 4 years of, actually 2.5 years of campaigning, but they had 4 years between elections. And this is the first time someone's telling them, hey, by the way, nobody really cares what you have to say, and Joe Rogan has basically rendered you irrelevant. And they're just now realizing that. The guy with the biggest audience on the planet, except for Elon Musk himself, and you're just now understanding how moot you are compared to him. Oops, what did I do there? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait. Sorry.
To his every word. So maybe listen to Joe Rogan and kind of understand, like, what is he talking about? What are the guests that he has on? What are the issues that they care about? Realize that the gravity of right-wing discourse is now taking place on X. It's not Fox. X is what matters.
How much does that have to hurt them? It's not Fox, so it's definitely not MSNBC, and it's definitely not CNN. So if he can basically do his autopsy of what happened this election, he's telling them straight up. The people, the eyeballs, they're not here, man. They're not watching our show. So you're basically talking to this other guy by himself. They're over on X, and you guys looked at X as being stupid, Elon Musk's playground, propaganda, it's full of Nazis, all that kind of stuff. But that's where the people are, and that's where they're getting information. SV texted me about the Paris Accord, or the Paris Climate Agreement, and I'm sure it's all over X, but it's probably not part of what you're seeing on media right now. Why is that?
Elon Musk is now, I wrote about this yesterday, arguably the most powerful civilian in the history of the country. He controls information flow. He controls multiple businesses.
See, that's where they're wrong. And that's why they're not able to understand what the hell is happening. Elon doesn't control information. Elon has taken the gates off of information so that I and you and anybody else can become the media. That's the concept that they're not grasping. They're not grasping that it's not Elon who's controlling this. We are. All he did was say, you know what? I'm going to take this algorithm, I'm going to shred it because it's not fair how it's suppressing conservatives, and we're going to just make it wide open. And so people can talk and consume what you want, consume what you don't want, and go that way, that route. I don't remember the exact words of the quote, but a quote I read said, when you are so used to controlling a narrative, it comes across as oppression and inequity when anybody else can do it. You see, now these people on MSNBC, what Elon has done is says some guy sitting on a computer in Alabama now has as much relevance as Joe Scarborough. They never thought that would ever come. And trust me, you do. You have as much relevance as Mika, as, what's the guy's name? Jake Tapper. You have as much relevance as any single one of them, and you have the chance to get more. One of the funniest things is when you look at all these podcasters that Trump went on, Theo Von, obviously Rogan, and some of these other people, a lot of people didn't know who the hell they were. Who's Theo Von? I don't know who Theo Von is. Never heard of the guy. Oh, he's got 12 million people watching him? Yeah. Jake Tapper doesn't have 12 million people watching him. Hey, listen, I'm going to go on this other guy, his podcast. Don't even remember his name. The Cyber Bros. Yeah. He went on that one. The guy shows up and gets a Cybertruck and he gives it to Trump. And people are like, where the hell did he get the money for a Cybertruck? He's making bank. He's making more money than you, Joy Reid. He has bigger audience. They had no concept. They had never heard of these people. Never once had they heard who this person was that was making all of these things happen. And like, he's talking to Theo Von. What's a Theo Von? Van Jones said it. We laughed. We laughed at them. We thought they were idiots. Meanwhile, all of us have been making fun of you guys going, you're the actual idiots.
He has the president's ear. He's going to be in charge of some newfangled organization to gut government spending. We've not seen a person with that kind of clout across those sectors. But where his real power comes from is X. People thought he was an idiot when he bought X because he lost a lot of money. He's got
That's how idiotic these people are.
a lot of money. And now he happens to have the most powerful platform on the right in politics.
Whoa, see, that's where they're wrong. Oh, you guys piss me off. It's not the most powerful program on the right. It's a level program. You see, when it's not tilted in your favor, it seems like it's not favorable. You had Twitter. You said whatever you wanted. You shut us up, you deleted people, and you were fine with that. And now the fact that he has thrown the doors open and says, well, hey, anybody can talk, you don't realize at this point that all he did was make it so that people could converse regardless of your ideology. And it's taken these people completely aback because they don't understand that.
Is downstream from information. And there's just a whole new information ecosystem out there. So for us, for you, for Democrats, for Republicans, you have to understand that you now are going to have to basically navigate 20 or 30 different parts of the ecosystem if you want to connect with the American people who vote.
Oh, the faces of those people there who thought they were so much in control. Oh, we run this. We're the media. I got a press pass. I remember when I was doing the Dolphin stuff and people were like, hey, Barry, have the Dolphins given you a press pass? I'm like, why would I want a press pass? Who's influenced and who's impressed by having a press pass? I get to walk around on the sideline and see stuff that I can see in my nice air-conditioned suite? Do I need to walk around in a locker room and have guys sweaty walking around? Be able to talk to them? I saw the game. I saw the game. I called the games. I don't need all that other stuff. What's the guy who you're going to interview going to say to you? He's not going to tell you anything. The reason why he's not going to tell you is because he can't. You're not getting a true story. You're getting a narrative that they want you to push out. And every single one of those people, if you guys ever follow sports, every single one of them who works on a local beat for a specific team will never, ever speak against the family. Team could get beat 60-0. Oh, well, they played their hearts out. And, they had a couple things the ball had bounced a couple ways, for them. They might have been able to pull it out. So, but there's always next week. How about saying the truth? Man, he sucks. He shouldn't be on the field. That's what I was saying. And people got pissed off at me. I'm like, oh, okay, you're not used to hearing real information. You're used to hearing sanitized information because you're a fan. That's what these people are going through. They're used to being the ones telling you Trump did this. The Republicans did that. Elon Musk, oh, he's horrible. He did this. Not realizing that nobody's listening to you because they're actually listening to Elon. If I want to hear what Elon has to say, I can literally click on X and see what he has to say. I don't need you to interpret. I've been talking a while. Let me get some comments here because I hope it's sinking in. I used to think there too until I married one who wanted to tell me how I should act and who I should be. Elon buying YouTube would save entertainment. They want way too much money. Way too much money. Oh yeah, that was another one. They all said Biden is sharp as a tack. I've known Joe Biden for 30 years and man, he's just... And you're like, well, you're telling me not to believe what I can see, right? I see this man who looks like he should be eating oatmeal in an old folks' home, but you're telling me he's sharp as a tack. Yeah, great. Peter Ducey should have press access, only one that stood his ground. Yep. But see, the thing with even Ducey, and this is where it becomes problematic. You ask the question, she lies. You try to ask it again, she lies again. And then they're on to the next person. If he were to say, listen, I don't believe you're telling me the truth. Here's why I think you're not telling me. You don't even have to use the word lie. It's strong. But I have this that says this, and this is when you said that. You're not really being, truthful here. Well, the next day when he showed up, he wouldn't be able to get in. You see, they are all beholden to that almighty press pass. They all want those chairs. You see it when it goes on television, and they're all, who's in the front row, and you got Steve Ducey sitting here, and you got Nora O'Donnell sitting there, and you got the Christian Welker sitting right here. They want those seats. If they showed up at the White House one morning, and they said, they swiped their pass, and it didn't work, oh, you're no longer invited. They'd lose it. They would, proof of that. Remember 2 years ago, not 2 years ago, it had to be about 5-6 years ago. There was a guy who, I forget which network he was on. He said some really nasty stuff about Trump, and they revoked his pass. He sued. He went to court and sued the Trump administration to give him back his access. That's how much they want to be in that room. They have to be in that room. So instead of just singling him out, just say, we're just not doing them anymore. There you go. Done. Scoot off to your studio. We're done talking. We're going to talk to these people. You can come in, but just go sit back there. They would lose it. Absolutely lose it. Narcissists love toxic relationships. They love the negative. Yeah, you remember that. He told that guy. I don't think it was Acosta. It might have been him. Was it Acosta? Okay. And they said, you got thrown out. And he sued. He sued because he lost his chair. That's not fair. I'm a journalist or something. I hope there's not a lot of people in college trying to be journalists. I really do. You don't need it. You don't need to even go to school. Open a Substack, and you can start writing articles. See if people give a crap about your articles. See if you can build an audience. You can't build an audience, learn a code. I'm serious. You don't need MSNBC. You don't need CNN, unless you do need them because you can't get anyone to listen to you, which is most of these people. Because some of them do have Substacks. Some of them do have blogs and things of that nature. You've seen the videos I've shown you from Mark Halperin. Mark Halperin used to be with MSNBC, and Sean Spicer was Trump's press secretary, and they, with all their credentials, are starting to try and build a YouTube channel. I've showed you some of his videos. So this guy was the press secretary. He was on Newsmax or one of the stations. Mark Halperin was on MSNBC, and they're starting at zero. I mean, zero. And so he's pushing. He's trying to build his channel. He's getting some traction, but it's hard. And he knows it's hard. He has to bring on 3 people to try and get anyone to watch his stuff. I mean, let me see. Mark Halperin. Let me just give you an idea what I'm talking about. Mark Halperin YouTube. That's a great indication. I can probably show that to you. All right. Here is Mark Halperin's YouTube page. And let me just put this up. Okay. This is Mark Halperin's YouTube page. Here's a guy that was on MSNBC. He's an insider. Everybody knows who he is. And Mark Halperin has 45,000 subscribers, and he has 729 videos. 729 videos. He's been trying to build this channel. If you look here, you look at his videos. Oh, this one 5 hours ago got 2,000. This one here 6 hours ago got 6,000. This one here 6 hours ago got 11. This one here got 5,800. A lot different than being on television on MSNBC, isn't it? And you got 3 guys on your show. 3 guys who were prominent in politics, and you're finding it a very hard road to hoe. Why is that? Because nobody was watching you on MSNBC who cared what you had to say. All they wanted was the narrative. Now he's trying to do some truthful stuff, and he's telling people, here's what I saw in the polls and this and everything else. And no traction. Why is that? Because the media is irrelevant. And he's doing some different things now. I kind of like what he does. He's got the Zoom calls and everything else, but it's not what you would expect from a guy who was on TV. Let me. I don't even know if he even has his channel anymore. Let's look at Don Lemon. Don Lemon. Yeah, here's Don Lemon, who was an anchor on, as you know, CNN. Don Lemon. Don has 276,000 subscribers. He does 2 shows a day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. He's done 539 videos. And let's look at his videos and see. He had one 6 days ago for 15. He had one 10 days ago for 9. He has another one here for 2 weeks ago with 8. What happened, Don? You're a major anchor. Let me see. Does he have any live shows that he's done lately? He just did a live show. I guess this was his 5 o'clock one. He did 16,000 views. And his one 8 hours ago did 50,000. This one here did 27, 39. This is a former network anchor who had a show on CNN and is getting really no traction. What is it? Why is that? And he's done 539 videos. So you have to say to yourself, for the established legacy media to now try to be part of the new media, that's what I was saying earlier, if you haven't begun building an audience and putting out videos, you're easily 2, 3, 4 years behind. Ain't gonna happen. 2 or 3, 4 years, easy. before you're even going to get any traction, if you get any traction. Same thing with Chris Cuomo. I mean, it's just, they're now realizing they are in a position where you better make good with Elon. You had better figure out what you can do to make things work with Elon, because if the traditional media is dead, you're just like me. You're going to have to start hustling to build an audience, and they're not used to doing that.
I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier.
All right, so many of you have seen this before. The reason why I want to show you this is those of you who may not have seen it. And what this video is about is media, traditional media, could have had Elon on their side. Elon was somewhat a Democrat, maybe a little bit leaning towards independence, but he could have been on your side. But the problem is you burned a bridge. You burned a personal bridge with Elon Musk. And because you burned a personal bridge with him, this man has dedicated his life, his fortune, to destroying you. And I don't think enough of the media has looked at this and realized you can do anything you want to him. That's why he says in that piece, go F yourself. Go F yourself if you think you can bribe me, if you think you can scare me, because now it's personal. What happened to his son, well, I'm just going to let you hear what he says.
This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he...
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
so I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. And so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
all right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
And there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. And we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
I've shown that before, and every time I watch it, it chills me. Because as Jordan Peterson was going back and forth with him, you could see he was beginning to seethe. Every single media outlet in the country should watch that every single morning before they do anything. Because I think they need to be reminded what they're dealing with. You got two guys. Two. Actually three, but really two. Trump and Elon, who you've done things to that are inexplicable. Trump, you tried to throw him in jail, you tried to take his money, you tried to kill him, you tried to do all this stuff. Elon, you took his kid. You took his kid. And so those two guys, along with the third guy who lost his uncle and his father, you got three guys right now that are looking to do nothing but bring pain to the Democrat Party. Is there any reaching across the aisle? Hell no. Is there any trying to do some partisan stuff? Not now. You see, both of them, their sole objectives are to destroy you. When you're looking at an opponent that is that formidable, one, the richest guy in the world who owns X, which happens to be his son's first name initial, so he reminds himself of that every single day when he walks in. Every single day. And you got another guy who you've tried to destroy for 9 years. You went through his wife's underwear. You tried to kill him. There is no partisanship. There is no reaching across the aisle. The only thing that this man wants, actually both these men want, is to eliminate you, to eviscerate you, to make you not even relevant, moot. You got a problem with Elon that you can't fix. That's the biggest problem. It's too late. You see, his son is basically, I think her name is Vivian now. You destroyed his family, or tried to. You can't reason with somebody you've done that to. You can't even hope to fix that. Never mind, I don't think there's been a single Democrat who's come to him and said, you know what, man, if we hadn't pushed this woke stuff, you might not have lost your son. So what do you expect this guy to do? He's going to bring pain. That's why I titled it, and the thumbnail was Pain Incorporated. What you have to look forward to, and it's happening as we speak. I'm getting texts from people. It's like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's pain. And you deserve every ounce of it. When you look at what you've put basically those two men through, and what the deep state put the other man through, you know, you got J.D. Vance and Tulsi sitting back going, oh, these dudes are pissed off. Whoa, these guys are really pissed off. Because, you know, they're young kids, generally speaking. They haven't had to deal with this stuff. And you're looking at three guys with some serious, serious scabs. Trump wasn't kidding when he said, Michelle Obama, yeah, she's out here taking shots at me. We're going to have to do something about that. Woo! What the hell do you mean by that? Only he and probably Michelle know. Michelle better take the jet and go somewhere. Yeah, we're going to have to do something about that. If you ever have hurt somebody so bad that they would like to just deal with you like a bug, there's not much you can say to them. Like, well, hey, man, well, you know, I'm sorry I slept with your wife or something. No, there's no sorry about that. I'm sorry I embezzled $2 million from your business. Nah, I forgive you. I'm not gonna forget. But now I gotta turn my back on you. Like Paulie said in Goodfellas. Now, here's $300. Now I gotta turn my back on you. Right now, these two men are ready to deliver some serious pain to the Democrat Party. And in doing so, they're going to make life so much better for you and I. Because that party has tried to not just take them out, they've tried to take us out. And now you've got a guy like Elon Musk, who now the media, in their post-mortem, finally are admitting, oh man, we made a mistake. Oh no, oh, he owns X. Oh, he controls the narrative. Oh, and people want to talk, they can talk. We can't shut anybody up. And we got the president who's coming out here saying, I'm going to rip censorship a new butthole. Whew. Ain't it a great time to be an American right now? And the rest of the world knows that. Understand what kind of meeting Zelensky went to go see when he met or was on the call with Trump and Elon. Not RFK. Why was Elon? Not J.D. Vance? No, I'm going to bring Elon. What's he, Luca Brasi? Because Elon walked in and said, I know what you spent. I know where you spent it. I know where it is. And Don said, you ain't getting any more, so you better go crawl into Vlad and go ahead and shake his hand. You're done here. We're over it. This is a glorious time to be an American. For the first time in a long time, I feel like we're going to be set free. That a lot of the things that they tried to do are no longer going to be a part of our lives. Just think. Less taxes, cheaper prices, less mortgage payments. You know, talking to Robin, hey, listen, maybe we can look at buying a bigger house. Maybe one with a studio already in it. Think about what you're going to do with your life in the next, 4 years. Your kids, your grandkids, going to no. Hopefully they won't go to college. Sorry, Ashley. The woke mind virus. They're still there. We got to figure out how to root that out of college. But think about it. These guys who are doing podcasts and everything. Most of them didn't go to college. They realized, hey, listen, I can buy some lights, a microphone, and a camera, and I can make millions. And the only thing holding me back is censorship. That's it. Ask Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino used to be on Fox too. People forget that. He wasn't the only one like Tucker. He got fired too. No, you can't come back here anymore. And what did Dan do? He bought some lights, he bought a microphone, and he started talking. And then they booted him off of YouTube. Like, oh God, what do I do now? Oh, well, there's this thing called Rumble. You don't quit. You keep going. And now, look at him. And there's stories like that all the time. And it's going to prosper and even grow because of what Elon Musk has done. And what now that he's basically teamed up with Trump, yeah, like I said, I may wake up one day and this thing might be off, but we got 80 days, 75 days till it gets there, till he gets in office, and we may see a completely different ecosystem online. We may see the vice of censorship be removed. SV just sent me a text. He sent me a text. And this text is, let me see if I can blow this up. It's a picture of, looks like Vivek is holding a live event on X. And it says, in the quote, the title of it is, "We don't need to censor the opposition. All we need to do is defeat and persuade is better." Defeat the opposition. That's what I'm going to do. I feel good when I look at Don Lemon stuff, and when I look at Mark Halperin stuff, and I look at some of these guys who I know have better pedigree than I do from a media perspective. I'm like, yeah, I'm kicking their ass. Yeah. And I got all this stuff hanging over my head. I'm walking around and producing videos, and I'm wondering, oh, don't say this, don't say that. Oh, don't show that picture. Oh, my God, what might happen? I can't even imagine if that's removed. That's what Elon Musk and Trump are doing. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Let's look at some stuff here. Wait till RFK Jr. starts digging into his uncle and father's... Yeah, I can't even say that word. You know how bad RFK Jr. is the fear around him? I almost think the fear around RFK Jr. is worse than Elon and Trump. See, at least I can show why Elon's pissed off. You can't even put a video up with RFK Jr. on it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless he's saying hello and goodbye, that's about it. If he starts talking about the stuff he wants to do and what he knows, strike, don't even talk about that. He did a speech yesterday about Fruit Loops. I was like, shit, no, don't do it. They don't even want him talking. Seriously, honest. He is the third rail. Absolutely. I'm wondering how many trolls you converted. Trolls were getting paid. So, I mean, if they were getting paid, they were probably just doing what they were told to do. Go in and disrupt. Okay. Doesn't make any sense. First time in 25 years I was back on X and Twitter. RFK Jr. will come down on the FDA like white on rice. Yeah, absolutely. It's coming. It is coming. I knew Elon would eventually come to our side. I remember when he used to say he was left, maybe moderate. Times have changed. Yeah, there is no moderate anymore. It's gone. They have taken the Democrat Party and turned left on us to a point where it's unrecognizable. Yeah, they are almost communist or Marxist at this point. Hey, Beth, thank you for... Oh, you changed your profile picture. I didn't recognize you. Beth changed her profile picture. I didn't even recognize. But like she says here, you can send me an email now to Barry. Send an email to me at showmail@fanbearshop.org. So if you got any ideas and content you'd like to see, again, this is interactive. It's engaging. You tell me what you'd like to see, and I'll do some research on it. Bobby has 40 years. It's a new beginning. RFK, I saw him speaking when he was young, and he's very, very smart. And he knows a lot of stuff. Disney World park attendance is so bad. Mickey Mouse applied for food stamps. Oh, you guys are funny. Let me see what here. Yeah, Beth got a new picture. Hope RFK with the Trump team make our food healthy again. Just imagine what food would be like if it didn't have. I mean, you look at the I got a box, not a box. What do you call it? Package of sugar-free cookies here, and this is supposed to be healthy. And it says baking soda, dry milk, eggs, wheat, coconut, pecan, almond. That's all it says. That's healthy. And then there's another line below it that I didn't pay attention to until it was too late. The line below it says, understand with flaxseed and almond, excess consumption may cause a laxative effect in sensitive persons. Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, I felt like the cop in Greenwich Village, the movie, Pope of Greenwich Village. After I ate like 3 of them, like, hey, man, I'm feeling something weird. But they're natural. Nothing else in them. Okay. I like that. I deleted Facebook and moved to X when Elon bought it and Trump got back on. Yep, X is fantastic. There's a lot of rumors that go around, stuff like that. I heard Elon bought this or bought that. No, if you want to know what he bought, he'll tell you. Just follow him. Are you saying that video of RFK talking about her food got taken down? They took down the video of him that Nicole Shanahan made talking about what happened to his uncle and his father. Oh, no, that's graphic. It shows too much violence. It's history, numbnuts. It actually happened. Whose fifis are hurt because of what happened to his uncle and his father? That's when you realize things are getting way out of hand. I mean, it's different than having an adversarial opinion about baby removal, but when we can't even talk about history? I was young, too young, but there are people who were watching that on television when, what happened. Both times. And we're not allowed to, show the car going down the street, showing Jackie O trying to climb and pick up the remnants of his head. Nope, you're not allowed. Not allowed. Don't even show it. Hi Nina, love your show, watch all the time. Thank you very much, very much. All that's about to change. Yeah. Trump surviving is the key at this point. Barry, where were you? Where was this? Where is it? Where were you at the other night? I was working trying to get several updates during the election night. Never did receive a response. What's up with that? Well, what's up with that is I get thousands of emails. I get, as you see, tens of thousands of comments sometimes. There's just no possible way I can go through all the emails. In fact, when Beth showed the email, that Ashley is like filtering through these things. I get tons of messages on DM on Twitter, X. Kind of a big deal. I love that. I love that GIF. No, I'm kidding. I just don't have the bandwidth to answer everything. So, if there's something that you really want me to address, use that email address because Ashley is checking it. showmail@fanfareshop.org. If you try to email me directly and you use my personal email or you took it off one of my other websites, probably not even going to see it. I just can't. I mean, I get my real estate emails, I get my YouTube emails, I get business, and I only have so much time in a day. I don't mean any disrespect, but it's almost impossible for me to respond to every single email. So I apologize if yours got overlooked, but there's nothing I can do about that. I would never have any time to do anything. I do have a wife and 2 crazy dogs at this point, and grandkids and a daughter, and it's a lot. Wow, his YouTube channel got taken down. Whew, man, that's crazy. Barry, how are Little, Midas, and Lily doing? Nope, they're not buddies. They're tolerating each other, but they're not far from being buddies. Far from being buddies. Yeah, and Candace has had some stuff on. See, Candace, she's approaching that Alex Jones state, and she's pushing. She's really pushing. She's never going to be able to do it on YouTube unless things change, but she's pushing. And maybe she's hoping for things to change as well. And she has basically said, I'm not going to succumb to the censorship. She's going to put out the content she wants, and I applaud her for that. I absolutely applaud her for that. We still have to face the rough time before we will reach the good news, the good time. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Because to me, the good times are for us to take. You see, we're going to see things, and we saw it already today. We saw that the EU said they're going to start buying from us. That means it's more income to us. We saw, just from the text that SV sent me, that Trump jumped out of the Paris Climate Agreement. That's immediate. So, no, those are both good. You're experiencing good right now. If you mean personally, yeah, it might take you a couple of weeks. It might take until January or February when we start seeing oil flow and different things like that. But it's coming. And make your plans accordingly. And now, there's a lot of time between now and January 20th, but I think what I think Biden did yesterday was basically put a dagger in a lot of the stuff that they were going to do. Barry needs assistance. Ashley's going to be helping. Both reduces inflation. Yeah, both of those reduce inflation. Real quick. I mean, I had heard something that if we start drilling tomorrow, it still takes like 18 months for that to hit the pump. But in that time, we can begin selling crude and barrels and all kinds of different things happening. I mean, if anything, I would start paying some more attention to either Fox Business or CNBC. Because now if you're thinking, okay, how are things going to shift? The guys on Fox, CNN, and all that kind of stuff, that's crap. It's absolute crap. If you start looking and digging in on CNBC and Fox Business, you're going to get some real news. You're going to see data. Data is what's going to make you feel a lot better. Have you ever Googled how much the news people get paid? Yeah, they get paid a lot of money. A lot of money. Yes, interest rates dropped to 0.25, but that's going to take a while too. Just to let you know. And here's something that I want people to begin thinking about. We are right now, 20 days from Thanksgiving, and we are a month and about 6 weeks away from Christmas and then New Year's. Take some time this holiday season to reflect on what's happening in this country and take a step back and go, it's going to be okay. Things might be tough right now. Things may get tougher in the interim. We don't know. Make sure you're protected. Talked about gold yesterday. Talked about, which things you can do. But start planning. It's something I used to do a long time when I was a younger, crazy, stupid guy. I lived in Connecticut. And around, I don't know, about a couple of days after Christmas, I would buy a ticket from I believe the station was Springfield or Hartford in Connecticut, on a train. And I would take that train all the way down to Washington, D.C., get off, and take the train back. It was about on a train, probably both ways, 9-hour ride back then. And I would bring a pad, and that pad would say, what do you want to accomplish in the new year? Put together a plan. I'm not saying you got to get on a train. The reason I got out of the train is because it was just something peaceful for me. I would just drive and see, as things are going by, watching. But it allowed me to write. Okay, what I'd like to do. And there was nobody bothering me. I would just sit in my seat and I would just write. And I would probably fill up 30 pages of things that I wanted to do. There's no distractions, wasn't cell phones in those days. It was just me and a pen and a pad. And it was some of the most productive stuff I ever did in my life because I actually could put together a plan. And so as we're getting to the holiday season, everyone thinks of presents and turkey and football and New Year's Eve and ball drops and everything else. We got one hell of a ball drop coming up. We have a ball drop coming on January 20th or whatever it is. Where do you want to be on February 1st? Have you thought that to yourself? Do you want to start a podcast? Do you want to start doing stuff on Twitter? Do you want to spend more time doing X, Y, or Z? Are you going to be looking at planning at buying a house because interest rates are down? Maybe a new car. I don't know. Think about the different things that you want to do and you sit back and go, it's going to be okay. Now I can actually take a breath and plan. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same shit. Excuse my language. It's not going to be the same. Prosperity is coming. Freedom is coming. And sometimes people who have been in bondage for so long as we have been in America for 4 years, telling us what we can say, what we can do, all the woke stuff, riots, we've had it. Just imagine what happens once he takes office. You can see what he's doing now. So start planning for that. Earlier I told you to plan just in case something went wrong. Many of you took that to heart. We did. Robin canned all kinds of stuff. We got a whole garage full of stuff right now. Planned. Not going to hurt us because if something happens where there's another storm or something, we got stuff. So we didn't waste any time, we didn't waste any money, and we have stuff. Now, think of your other plans. Robin said the other day, hey, listen, you're not doing rallies 3 times a day anymore. No. What do you think we go on vacation? Oh, okay. That sounds good. Let's start planning. Wouldn't be a good time we could go? Where are we going to go? What do you want to look at? What are flights going to cost then? What are the rooms going to cost? We're going to get a Verbo? We're going to get a hotel? I mean, we're planning. Because there's so much to look forward to right now. So much. I know I've got a knapsack back there I call my go bag. I now can take that go bag and go see Ashley up in North Carolina, do anything, and boom, within like an hour I've got a studio set up. I can go any hotel anywhere in the world, boom, as long as I got internet, and I'm set to go. So I solved that problem. See, that was a problem I had a couple months ago. I'm like, okay, if I do this, oh my God, it's not getting, the stream got cut, it didn't work, we didn't have strong enough internet, we need to get Starlink. You start planning. Now I know, hey, listen, let's go on vacation. We can go anywhere we want, and I can do this. Even bought lights, everything. Everything's in that go bag. Boom. Studio in a box. I'm ready to go. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in January? Start planning that stuff now, man. Barry did this when he was young and dumb. He says, no, dumb at all. Barry, you've always been a wise man. No, I had a good, some people who taught me. I had people and not that I didn't make mistakes along the way. I was bouncing off the rails the whole way through. But one of the guys said, listen, what's your plan? What do you mean plan? What are you going to do next year? I don't know. You don't have a plan for next year? Okay, here's what you do. I'm like, oh, okay. But then how do I make all the stuff I have a plan happen? Because then we can address what you want to do. You see, so many people who don't have the funds or availability of doing things right now think making a plan is daunting. Well, if you make the plan, now you have the recipe. Now you just got to figure out how you can acquire the ingredients. So then I went to somebody and said, okay, here's what I'd like to do. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to... Oh, this will work. Oh, okay. We can do this? Yeah. Think you can help me out? Yeah. Let's do that. It's that simple. Yeah, we are followers before we are leaders. Absolutely. Let's see. What's that suck I feel for Elon? Sounds like you're rich. I'm planning how I can survive the next few months. Well, people have asked that question before. And I answer it this way. How do you define rich? Because if you define rich based upon your current standard, then that definition is always going to be unattainable. I used to work for a guy who was rich. The guy has his own jet. He owned an advertising agency. He owned a hockey team. Tried to buy the Miami Dolphins. That's rich. Or as Chris Rock used to say, that's wealthy. That was something I said, can I ever do that? I don't know. I can drive by neighborhoods on the beach here or by the beach. And I remember taking my family and somebody said, wow, if I hit the lottery, I could buy a house like that. And I had to turn to my nephew and go, no, you'd have to hit the lottery 2 or 3 times to buy that house. See, rich is relative. I can drive by rich or wealthy every day and go, damn. They got a big old 20,000 square foot house with a 150 foot boat, and that's rich. What am I? I am someone who's not there. I don't have a 150 foot yacht sitting out front of the yard. So rich sometimes can be a self-limiting belief, because rich is what you want it to be. I always define rich, and in this regard, yeah, I'm rich, because I define rich as being able to spend time with the people you love when you want to spend it with them. That, to me, freedom, is the thing I was so worried about the Democrats. It wasn't the money. We all can make money. That's not an issue. But you can't make freedom. They don't sell freedom in a store. They sell cars. They sell houses on the street. They sell microphones and lights and all kinds. They sell that. They don't sell freedom. You can't walk into Target and go, hey, excuse me, what aisle can I find freedom on? Because if I can find the freedom, then I know I'm rich. It doesn't have a price tag to it. It's like I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. Does that mean I can do anything I want? No. I just do what I want to do. I can't go out and buy a 150-foot yacht, but I could take Robin to the movie whenever I want. I can take Robin to buy a crazy-ass little Maltese. Rich, you're defining rich by somebody else's terms. Define rich according to your terms. If you said to me, I'm trying to figure out how I can survive the next few months, well, maybe put the plan together and say, how can I can survive these next few months. I want to be better the 3 or 4 months after that. Maybe that's rich for you. Maybe it's like, I want to go grocery shopping and I want to buy a steak. Oh, okay. Well, then how do you get there? That might be your definition of rich. Don't let someone else's mansion and yachts and everything else define that for you, because that person who owns that yacht and owns that 20,000 square foot house is not defined by his or her wealth at that point. They don't think they're rich. And even if they do, they're like, you know what? There are people who I want to be in their class. I want to buy a bigger jet. I can't afford it. I'm stuck with this jet. damn, you're not that rich? No, I'm not that rich. I can't afford a new G5. Oh, wow. See, everybody has that next level. What's your next level? Instead of looking at being rich, what's the next level you want to get to? Think of it in sports terms. The Dolphins suck. They're 2-5 or 2-6. What's the next thing you want to do? I want to be 3-5 or 3-6. I don't want to make the playoffs yet, but if I can win that next game, I can go, whew, we won a game. What's your next game? Define yourself. Don't let others define you. So when you say something like sounds like you're rich, I don't know what that even means. And I hope you don't take what I just said negatively. I'm trying to tell you positive. I don't know what that means. It's all relative. I don't have a G5. I don't have a 150-foot yacht. But the guy I know who does has shown me, here's what you need to do to go to the next level. Oh, okay. Because if I'm going to define him as rich and wealthy, then I need to find out what he's doing. What do you do and how do you do it? Don't be fooled by debt. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean don't be fooled by debt? Some rich people still don't have enough and they are miserable. But there's another term. That's like fair share. Define enough. These are terms that have been used by people to put chains on your mind. Fair share. Hey, when is enough? I don't know. I'll let you know when I arrive at that exit on the highway. Legacy media is feeling a booty hurt right now. Oh yeah, that's really seriously. Somebody says here, okay, I've got God, I've got a wonderful husband, a couple of kids with grandbabies, and a little house to keep the rain off my head. I am rich. Bingo. Bing effing go. That's. Are you happy? Yeah, you're rich. See, that's the thing. People who aren't happy, even if they are got big ducats in the bank, if you're not happy, does it really matter? I want to be happy. I want to be happy. That's why I do this. I do this because it's fun. If it wasn't fun, I'd turn it off and never do it again. Nope. I wouldn't care how much you make from it. Wouldn't do it. Let me see here. Kerry Lake being beat, cheated again. Yeah, they gotta do something about that for sure. A New York strip used to cost $7.99 a pound. Now it's $12.99 a pound. Hopefully that stuff gets better. BTCB, you're right. There is good debt and there's bad debt. Yep, exactly. Some people have lots of money but poor health. Yep, I agree with that. I personally don't understand the monetization of X and YouTube. I could literally talk for an hour on that. Why don't you email me at showmail@fanfareshop.org and I can respond to you with an email giving you some basics on the monetization on both platforms. Kamala's swipe of the pen so she can put people away is used against her. The irony. Yeah, absolutely. Once you leave this earth, someone else spends the money. You can't take it with you. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. There's a lot going on, a lot to be encouraged by, a lot to be happy about, and I just see that Trump and Elon are really, really working hard to turn things around. And the fact that they're working that hard to turn things around is pretty incredible to me. The results of the poll tonight, I had said, have any of your friends or family admitted they were wrong about the election? 75% of people said, nope, they're still libtards. That's kind of frightening. That's really frightening. After everything they've seen, they know they've been lied to at this point. and they don't care. That's just really, really, really disheartening. I mean, just really a gut punch as far as I'm concerned. All right, so let me go ahead and acknowledge the super chats. But before I begin with that, I have to acknowledge last time I signed off and somebody came in late. And so I want to acknowledge those two people that SV sent me their information. And that was Terry Berry again. Thank you very, very much, Terry Berry. It's greatly appreciated. And Randy Rittenhouse. Randy Rittenhouse and Terry Berry slipped something in under the wire, and I missed them, so I apologize, but I definitely wanted to acknowledge them. All right, tonight, Patricia Hurley, Barry, and you and your family and mods do a great job. Hard work, very grateful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just another knucklehead. Can I buy a season pass? Thank you, brother. Fernando Cardenas, thank you. Just because we live. Thank you very, very much, brother. Mr. Krabs, 1 minute prayer break. We're going to be doing those a lot more regular now that we won't have the interruptions of so many rallies. So count on that next Thursday. John Zeller, thanks, Barry, for all you do. You're the greatest. Thank you. Tanaya P. Some people have so much pride they will never admit they are wrong. Pride comes before a fall. Hold on a second. Somebody just texted me again. Okay. Pride comes before a fall, and man, did they fall. Yep. Henry Schrader, Dems will cut off all benefits to the newcomers before January 20th to get even with Trump and the American people for voting Trump and Vance in. It's starting in New York today with cutting food cards off. And that's when it gets dangerous. Make sure you got your pew-pew and your ammo, so just in case. Yoshi, how do you help those who are reeling from this? They may have looked down on me, but they are turning around now. You're talking about the election? I guess you just try to talk to them and say some of the stuff I've been telling you. They've been lied to. One of the biggest things I've seen today was from Charlemagne the God, when he was like, so I ain't seen nobody talking about Trump being a Nazi or out here saying he's Hitlerian or fascist. Or did that just end? Yep, it ended. It ended with the President of the United States going out and saying, oh, we're welcoming him into the White House and we're going to have a peaceful transfer of power. You're transferring power to a Nazi? Yeah, so it's all a lie. That should have woken so many people up. That press conference yesterday should have woken people up. Club 1852, thank you very, very much. Supporting new media. Thank you, Barry and Mods, for all you do. Thank you very, very much. You're great. Deborah Island Girl from Canada. We wouldn't have known there was any jabademic if it weren't for the lying MSM spouting off. Do you know one of the well, you would, maybe you've seen it. There was one of the funniest memes. And it was a pair of reporters asking people in the Amish. And it was just a meme. And it says, so how did you guys survive the jabademic? And the Halo said, we don't watch television. And I thought, that's pretty much how it happened. Whoa, more teas. Hopefully now DJT has won. I will no longer be shadow banned here on YouTube. I used to love creating my videos, but they were all basically suppressed. I hear you, brother. Lynn Geldmeyer, any update if we have the House? Oh, no. Here we are, 3 days later, people still counting. And now we got Republicans fighting against each other. Sickening. Lelouch lives. Turning Point Action is looking for people to cure ballots in Arizona. We have until Sunday to help Kerry Lake and others cross the finish line. If I was in Arizona, I would be there. Joy Kirkland, maybe a helpful hint to those who don't know. If you have heartburn, take about 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a half a glass of water and drink it. I did not know that. Okay. And it seems natural, too. Dyslexic Tank. I don't know if you guys know this, but this isn't Elon's first son who he lost. I know he's got, another one? Wait a minute, you're telling me another son went to the dark side? Oh my God. No, I did not know that. Diane Torogian, our President Donald Trump is brilliant. Promises made, promises kept. Thank you, Barry, and all your family. Thank you very much. I did not know he had 2 sons. Ray Smith, I enjoy watching you, Barry. You are the best. Thank you, Barry. Please tell me that's not true. Tell me he didn't lose. Oh, no wonder he's so pissed off. No wonder he wants to destroy these people. Wow, did not know that. I'm gonna have to look that up. So tomorrow tomorrow's Saturday. So I won't be doing unless the breaking news is really breaking. You never know what Trump's going to do. So normally the breaking news is going to be Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock. And then the 7 o'clock is also going to be Monday through Friday. But if something happens tomorrow, I will go live and we'll talk to you then. Or I might just post a recorded video. In any event, you guys have a great weekend if we don't talk before Monday. Thank you for watching.